Recon plane is fueled and ready.
What's going on, guys? BriarRabbit here, and this is Call of Duty World at War. So I'm kind of continuing my odyssey through the Call of Duty series. Yesterday I was playing some Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and Call of Duty World at War came hot on the heels of Call of Duty 4. And it was pretty divisive. A lot of people really got excited about the Modern Warfare era of games, you know, getting like the newer weapons and new kill streaks, and kind of that level of entertainment was really refreshing because the World War II kind of shooter had been done to death. There were just a ton of these things flooding the market at the time. So when Modern Warfare came out, you know, it was really refreshing to see a new era in, you know, shooters. So when Treyarch announced that they were going to bring the Call of Duty franchise back to World War II again, people were pissed off. People didn't like that. You know, they wanted Modern Warfare 2, not another World War II shooter. And that was unfortunate because this game was actually pretty decent. It had its issues, and it's really hard to play at this point. So real quick, I want to show you some of the problems that are happening in this game right now. Alright, so just watch how many bullets I put into this guy. Watch how many hit markers I get on this guy, and he never goes down. It's unbelievable. Obviously, this guy has some kind of invincibility going, and, you know, that really basically just ruins the game for everybody else. Here's the same guy. I knife him straight in the face. He doesn't go down, and I don't even know what this guy behind me is doing. He's got some kind of unlimited... who knows what that is. And that's not all you're gonna see. You see map hacks. You're gonna see people flying around maps and have invincibility on. You'll see people underneath maps shooting up at other people. You see aimbots. You see all sorts of bad stuff in this game. It's really annoying. And it can actually, it's so common, it can actually be hard to find a lobby that doesn't have that stuff in it. Luckily, I was able to find this free-for-all lobby that was pretty clean. As far as I could tell, it was pretty clean. There was no major hacking going on. And I still had a really good time with this game. In my opinion, some of the World at War maps are some of the best maps that have ever been in Call of Duty. They're just really inventive. They're beautiful. This is Castle, I believe it's called. And as you can see with the cherry blossom trees and the Japanese kind of castle, it's just a gorgeous map. It's really fun. It's really fresh compared to a lot of the brown and gray maps that you see in most Call of Duty. So it's actually a lot of fun. There are some inherent problems with Call of Duty World at War, though. The game was amazingly unbalanced. You'll see I'm using the MP40 here, and this was by far the best gun in this game. It was completely overpowered and still is. They never patched it. Also, Juggernaut. Juggernaut was so overpowered in this game that if you combine those two, if you ran MP40 plus Juggernaut, you were guaranteed to win. It was an absolute guarantee. It was so powerful that you were almost forced to run these things to succeed at this game. And this all happened before Call of Duty became this thing that was just patched so frequently. Like, nowadays, if that kind of overpowered weapon happened in Call of Duty Ghosts or Black Ops 2, it would get patched very quick. The community is very vocal about this stuff. I believe the developers are very responsive about it, and that just wasn't the case back in the day. You know, Call of Duty 4 had very overpowered weapons. So did World at War. Modern Warfare 2, I don't even want to talk about how overpowered some of that stuff was. And it just wasn't the culture to patch this stuff so frequently like it is now. And I think the games are a lot better for it now. It can be debated which games are the best games, but it's nice not having these super overpowered weapons, perks, or loadouts, you know, and that is really a big problem with this game. I still think it's a fun game if you can find a lobby. I wouldn't really recommend picking it up at this point unless you're just going to play the single player, because it is just so hacked. I didn't actually play this game while it was new. I had played Call of Duty 4. I was still playing Halo, and you know, I saw another World War II shooter, and I passed. I was like, nah, you know, I played a ton of Call of Duty 2. I'm kind of over the World War II thing. I've stormed the beach in Normandy about 5 times in 5 different games. I'm kind of over World War II. Now, the rumor is that Treyarch is going to make a World at War 2. So these are tongue twisters for me, so excuse me if I mess them up a couple of times. But Treyarch making a World at War 2 could actually be somewhat interesting. Now, the nice thing about dealing with World War II at this point is it's now been a while since we've really had that flood of World War II shooters. I mean, they were coming out, you know, 3 or 4 a year, and they were by like AAA developers. They were big games, and it was just impossible to get away from them. But now we've had a little bit of distance, and Treyarch has really kind of proved themselves as a really good developer. So I'd like to see what they could do with a World War II multiplayer shooter at this point. You know, it'd be really interesting if they did something that was like maybe an alternate history, maybe set like in 1950, but the war is still going on. So we could get some kind of theoretical weapons, stuff that never actually was used during the war, but maybe was kind of in development or was being theorized, or maybe just some fantastical weapons that could have been, you know, maybe could have been used during the war. Stuff like that would be kind of fun, because I don't know about you guys, but I've used trench guns, I've used MP40s, I've used all of these weapons so many times in World War II games that they're just kind of boring. And what's nice about the older weapons is that you can do recoil and you can do kind of flaws and separate out the weapons better than you can with modern weapons. Modern weapons are all awesome, right? They have all had years and years of development. They all shoot straight, they all shoot fast, they all are powerful. You know, there's very few differences between, you know, this gun and that gun, and so it leaves it a lot up to the developers to kind of create differences. But with World War II, these guns were really, really different. You know, you had guys going with rapid fire submachine guns against single shot rifles, and you know, that kind of mix could be an awful lot of fun in a shooter. And Treyarch, I think, does really good maps, and I'd like to see a return to, you know, some nice bright colors. You know, they can go to Japan, they can go to Europe, they can go to the South Pacific, you know, they can go to Africa. There's just so many places that you can go as a, you know, as a developer developing multiplayer maps with World War II, just because the war was so expansive and so big. I don't know. I think it could be a lot of fun. Now, it's still really a rumor that World War II is going to be the 2015 Call of Duty game. This year, obviously, we're getting Advanced Warfare, and you know, some people are really excited about it. We haven't seen any multiplayer yet, but I wouldn't mind seeing Treyarch kind of take a second crack at a World War II multiplayer game, because you know, this game was not perfect. It had some serious flaws, but Treyarch has really grown as a developer. A lot of people think of them as the lead developer of Call of Duty now. They think that Infinity Ward has really lost their way, and since Vincent Zampella left, you know, it's not really Infinity Ward anymore anyway. It's basically Neversoft, and, well, Sledgehammer was there for Modern Warfare 3. It's a bunch of developers under the title of Infinity Ward, but not actually any of the original Infinity Ward guys. The guys who really created Call of Duty 4 and really reinvented the genre and really reinvigorated online shooters. None of those guys are there anymore. Those guys are working on Titanfall now, trying to do the same thing again. And from the looks of it, not doing it so well, because the game has really lost a lot of popularity since it came out. So yeah, World at War. You know, it's an interesting game. I really can't recommend going out and getting it unless you want to play the single player. You can get some multiplayer maps that aren't hacked, but for the most part, they're pretty hacked. I got some dogs running around here. This is the first time I think they brought out the dogs. Oh, one thing I want to talk about with World at War II is the voice acting is awesome. They have a ton of really like top A-list actors doing the call-outs for you while you're doing your multiplayer, and that's a lot of fun to hear. So that's going to wrap this one up. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hit that like button if you like this video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.